Oh my god, it's video games. We are back to talk about, if you can believe this, video games. Y'all heard of these things? Video games? Yeah, we're talking about them. And today, it is the, smack dab middle of the Virginia summer here. It's hot, but it's also kind of gorgeous. And I don't know about you, but every once in a while, I'll get up in the morning, open the blinds, and the summer sun is just coming through. Maybe there's a breeze, and it just kind of hits right. And I get really nostalgic for certain games. I have some summer games that just, they just conjure up that summer feeling for me. And I'm sure some of you all also have those. Maybe it's a game that brings you back to, like summer break when you're off school, or it was a game you played all summer or whatever. Maybe you just have good memories of it, playing it with your friends in the summer. I want to hear about some of your summer gaming memories down below. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. And with that, let's just get into it. First up, classic story for me. This one goes way back. And it's actually about a little game called Alien 3 for the Super Nintendo. Now, to set this story up, me and my friends, this was probably about 6th or 7th grade for me. So we were skateboarders. And every single weekend in the summer, we would scrounge together whatever money we could and skate up to the local 7-Eleven and get Slurpees, candy, whatever it was. And this particular weekend, we're like, all right, cool, let's all head up to 7-Eleven. And we're heading up that way. And the thing about my neighborhood is that you can't really see the horizon because of all of the trees until you get to a certain point in the neighborhood. So we're about halfway to 7-Eleven, we get to the pool, and we turn the corner, and the sky is just pitch black. And when I was a kid, and into my early teenage years, I hated thunderstorms. They scared the hell out of me. I knew that, thunder and lightning couldn't hurt me, or anything really like that, but I think it was, the high winds that would give me really bad anxiety, so I hated it. So we turn that corner, I see those skies are pitch black, and I kind of just stop in my tracks. And I'm like, guys, I don't know, it kind of looks like it's gonna storm. Should we go to 7-Eleven? And they're like, what? Come on, man, it's probably not gonna storm for another hour or something like that. Come on, we have time to get up there. And I'm like, I don't know. I think I'm gonna turn back. You guys can go to 7-Eleven if you'd like. And they're like, what? Oh, come on, man. And I'm like, yeah, you guys can go. So I turn around, and on my way back home, the little breeze starts to pick up. I'm feeling faint raindrops here and there. Nothing crazy. But, I get home, and I kid you not, within 5 minutes of me walking in the house, the heavens open up, and it just starts pouring and storming. And instead of me getting drenched, and instead of me really worrying about the storm, I was at home playing Alien 3 on the Super Nintendo. And if you've not played Alien 3 for the SNES, it's actually a really, really good licensed game. You kind of have this sort of open world to kind of go through. So you have but on a much smaller scale, almost sort of like a Metroidvania in a way. You have levels, but they're pretty big, and you can go around and explore all the different areas, and you have these little terminals that you can go to and pick out your different missions, then complete them, come back, and when all the missions are complete, you move on to the next level. But at this time, I was really starting to get into horror movies and sci-fi movies, and I'd kind of grown up with the Alien and the Predator franchise a little bit, but this was right around the first time I had seen Aliens for the very first time, and I was just obsessed with it. So I'm sitting there playing through Alien 3, making up my own story about what Ripley's doing on Fury 161 and whatever, and I'm just having a blast, not even worrying about the storm outside. So yes, I have some really fond memories of playing through some Alien 3 to get through this thunderstorm and just having a really good time with this game. I'm really nostalgic for it. And to wrap this story up, after dinner in the summers, my friends and I would usually come back down and skate because, the sun's starting to go away. That Virginia heat isn't quite as bad in the evening. So we get together, skate, and they show up and they're like, oh my god, dude, you made the smart move by turning around. We got drenched. It's we didn't even make it up to 7-Eleven. We got really close, and then we just got poured on, and we just, took off for home because we didn't want our boards to get waterlogged. So, and I was like, I told you it was gonna rain. Instead of getting soaked, I stayed home and played some Alien 3 on the Super Nintendo. So, for me, the Sega Saturn is just kind of intertwined with that summer feeling for me. You know, I absolutely love the Saturn. It's one of my favorite consoles, and I think the reason it really evokes that summer feeling for me is because I happened to get it for my 16th birthday, which of course falls in the summer. Yeah, my 16th birthday, instead of like asking for a car or something crazy like that, I was like, yeah, Mom and Dad, can I just like get a Saturn? And they're like, what the hell's a Saturn? I'm like, it's a video game console. I'm like, well, how much is it? I think it's like $50. So yeah, I was lucky enough to get a Saturn. But yes, like the Saturn for me, like, because that summer I got it, I remember saving whatever money I could get from doing chores, mowing lawns, whatever it was, and just taking all of that and putting it towards like Amazon gift cards to buy myself more Saturn games. So yes, I spent that summer, the following summer, and probably the next one after that, really just trying to collect as much as I could for the Saturn. So I think that's really why it just has that like summer feeling for me. But of course, I have a lot of good memories of hanging out with my friends and hanging out with my friend Surrey and playing a lot of Saturn games. Just going through my stacks of Saturn games, playing a good bit of like Street Fighter Alpha 2, which is really the Street Fighter game that got me, or really the Street Fighter game that got me into the series and made me realize, oh shoot, Street Fighter is really good. I have some good memories of us playing some Virtual On. Oh, I'm trying to get used to this new setup here. Yeah, some Virtual On. And then, of course, House of the Dead. Really goofy, cheesy version of this game, which was kind of already a goofy, cheesy version to begin with. But the two games that really stick out to me for this are Saturn Bomberman Fight, which is not to be confused with just regular Saturn Bomberman. This is actually a like isometric 3D Bomberman, closer to like Bomberman 64, which is actually a game that me and my friend Surrey really enjoyed. We played it a lot over at his house. So to find this game and realize that it's also 3D, we just really loved it. I can remember us sitting there and one day and going through it and just playing a bunch of matches and then finding out you could unlock more characters. So we sat there and just went through the story mode for an afternoon, unlocking everybody. And then some other friends came over and we'd hung out and passed the controller around in between rounds and such. So yeah, Bomberman Fight is a really, really underrated Bomberman game for the Saturn that you should absolutely check out because it's actually still pretty cheap, I believe. And then the next game that immediately makes me think of summer is the little known Kiryu Tose, which is honestly very much similar to Bomberman. You have a ring and you're trying to knock your opponents out, and mostly by kicking them. But you can also like throw dodgeballs at them, use stage obstacles. It's more of a ring out style of game. It's a ton of fun. And again, I just remember us sitting down and just playing a ton of this between us and some other friends. And I remember another funny story is I remember us trying to unlock all the extra characters in that game. And I think we were pretty late into the story mode. Of course, another storm comes through and knocks out the power, and we lost all of our progress. So I don't know if we went back and ended up unlocking the characters that day, but we did at least eventually get the extra characters in this game. Because I remember, I think like the last boss, you're like working your way up a mountain, and I think the last boss is like a dragon in a sort of like topsy-turvy arena. I don't know, I remember that much at least, so we did eventually do it. But yes, these are some games that absolutely kind of evoke that summer feeling for me for the Saturn. So yes, I think that's going to do it for my summer gaming memories. Please let me know what some of your favorite summer gaming memories are. Maybe there's a game that just when, that summertime nostalgia hits right, you just got to pull it out and play it. I would love to know what some of those games are. Again, maybe it's something that reminds you of summer break. Maybe it's something that you just ended up spending a summer playing a ton of. Please let me know down below. And thanks for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this episode, consider checking out these other videos right here, or even subscribing. Also, if you'd like to throw me a couple of bucks, you can support the show on Patreon.